All right. Good afternoon, sir. We're supposed to do this live, but right now we're restricted by social media. We're hacked. But quickly, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you have gone through to get to where you are today. I think it's going to help a lot of young persons that are coming, because I am very confident that you're about 75 or 76 years.
76.
Good. So, who is Barrister Julius ELUKPO?
Yes. Well, if I'm to tell you about me,
Yes.
it can take us a whole day, up to 24 hours.
Wow.
So it's just to sketch round.
That's correct.
I finished my primary school in 1962 from St. John's Anglican Primary School, Akabe. First, I school for 4 years in Boloko, did my primary 1 to 4. That time, when you finish that primary 4, getting a place to finish to 6 is like getting admission to university today.
Wonderful.
I think of our set, I was the only one that gained admission to St. John's Anglican Primary School, Akabe. Others went to Dekina, Oguma, Lokoza, and so on. Were scattered. I finished my primary in 1962, and I did laborer jobs for 2 years. Save money to send myself to secondary school.
Your parents couldn't afford it?
They can't afford it, no. They were very willing, but even yourself, you will know that they can't afford it. Even that time, the more the khaki you used to the primary school is the dress you use during Christmas.
Oh my
They
God.
buy for you for Christmas that you used to complete that year's school, because the money was not there.
Do you remember any of your mates?
Yes, those that are successful still, that are still alive today. You have Professor Sam Amdi,
Okay.
a professor of political science in the University of Abuja. You have Professor Amos Shaibu, a professor of chemistry in the University of Ahmadu Bello University. You have Beneza Akpam, retired Air Vice Marshal, now in Kaduna. I think he's still lecturing in military school there. You have some retired ones like that, but many are gone.
So how did you finish your school, secondary school, and then even to university?
Well, I saved money for the 2 years. I was lucky. I won a prize of motorcycle by filling a newspaper where I was buying Daily Times to read Daily Times, to look for classified advertisement for schools. And I saw an advertisement, a column. I should fill it. Were to state why you drink a star beer. By then, it was my first time coming to Sister when I came from the village. And you don't
Where was this?
From Boloko.
No, where did you fill the form?
In Kaduna.
Wow.
First, I did some labor with Federal Office of Statistics in the village, in Okene, in Bangede area. You see. So now, there was no opportunity of seeing newspapers where you see advertisement for schools. So when we were to go and to be trained for the Federal Office of Statistics course in Zaria, I resigned my appointment to stay in Kaduna and got employed by Ministry of Works stores in Kaduna. I was seeing newspaper every day, Daily Times. I was buying it every day. I was seeing classified advertisement, schools, public schools in Lagos mainly, because you can't get any school that you can enter in the north here without, ordeal. You see, so now, as I was feeling, reading the papers, there was a column that said you should stay while you drink a star beer. And I just bought it just for fun, filled it for fun, that you are brighter by far on a star. There was a limited words, no more than 12 words. And you remove the label, this label that they used to put at the neck of the beer, tiny label. Yes. They say you should add, I think, 12 or so to the envelope with that thing. So I posted it. I sat down in the office one day, they gave me a letter that I won the first prize in Northern Region. And it was mobile motorcycle.
Without drinking beer?
No. I don't know how to do that.
Wow.
So, a letter was written to me, the date it will be awarded, the prize will be given to me. And the venue was the Queen's Hotel, opposite administrator's office in Kaduna. It was Queen's Hotel. That Saturday I went there. And being a ceremonious place like that, with one who has won the first prize in the North, I had to go out and get properly dressed and so on. Barb my hair, bought one sleek nylon white shirt with one silk tie, which I don't know how I knotted it to go there that night. That was my first time of using tie.
Wow.
So when they are with some friends, they got a table ready for me. The beer filled it up. That as the first person who won the first prize in the North. Fortunately, I met some friends that followed me to help me drink the beer. And it will be embarrassing to tell them I don't know how to take star beer. So what I do, since it was dark and near the fence, my table was near the fence. If I sip some, I would do as if I'm dancing, I go and pour it away.
Wow.
When I finish pouring away one, I open a second one. Because that time, when you you even put the beer in the mouth, it will be choking my tongue and mouth like a needle. So I did. I tried to be dancing as if the drink is having influence on me, so they will now have taken the beer. Until they say, okay, it was time for the award of the prize. Collected my motorcycle moblet. The man wanted to buy it from me, was there, so I handed over to him. They call him Mr. Ladan then, the Minister of Works, Kaduna. He paid me my money added to the one I was keeping in the bank to see that it was reasonable before I went to secondary school. And before then, when we take salary, I think it's about £3.
Your salary?
Yes.
£3?
I think it's 600 naira now, or 300 naira now, the amount we take. I will save it in the bank. What I do, the day we take place to buy garri from Kaduna market, then we kuli. If it's the first day we take pay, I'll buy a packet of sugar. It's Tetan line, the strong one.
Yes, the strong one.
It doesn't dissolve. So what I do is you don't even put it in the garri when I soak it, to take it and eat that.
Because it's very hard.
You cut small. I don't even want it to finish, to dissolve. You cut it small into your mouth, you take garri with spoon, you eat, you feel satisfied.
Wow.
In fact, that is how I save money. In fact, my mate that time when you were in Kaduna, two of you rent a room. My mate said I to economize because I don't eat to cook with crayfish, stockfish, and so on, egusi and so on. Very serious food to eat. I said I'm saving my money for further studies. I had to even part. Went to another friend to stay. When I discovered my money can take me about 2 to 3 years, I discussed with some of my brothers that I was going, and with the hope that they will be assisting with some little things. Before that 2 3 years, I would have been augmented the rest. But nobody sent me a kobo.
Wow.
Except my mother then, and one of my brothers late now.
Yeah,
So
this is how you moved to Lagos.
I moved to Lagos in January 1965. I took train from Kaduna Railways.
Did you know anybody there?
No, actually it was the school. Okay. There was, when I was trying to apply in Kaduna too, I was learning typing and shorthand in Abubakar Chibo Road, like a typing studio. There was one man called Mr. Souza. He works with Aroa Textile. Then he discussed me with one Mrs. Ohimekere. Our neighbor woman. And she said she knows somebody who has a college in Lagos. So they said they would send a message to the people to collect me at the station.
Oh, okay.
And one of my senior brothers, there's one Mr. Timothy Ali, working with Minister of Works in Lagos. They told him to. to come out and collect me. So I went to I was dropped at the railway station. I was down there, as a young boy,
Of
looking
course.
at new things where they are selling things we never saw before. We're smart in the railway terminal section there. Until I think Timali came and collected me to his house. We slept on the same bed that day. He's a retired man, still alive today.
Wow.
So I took the entrance exam to Yaba Polytechnic. Before this idea of Yaba National College came. In fact, I went like doing maybe private studies round because I could not maintain the expenses in staying with one school. I even finished with attending a part-time course in Leibniz lectures, which was cheaper. Fortunately, from Form 2 to 3, I passed the C.
Oh, so you never did Form 4 and 5?
No, it was from 4 I left. I didn't do Form 5. I had got enough papers, and Federal School of Science admitted me for HSC. In fact, in the secondary school, I was taking number 1. It was one Igbo lady called Erima Oche from Onisha who used to challenge me.
So how did you have all this memory of keeping all of these names?
Oh, no. You see, well, they were my classmates. And they are my best. In fact, my classmates are just like my assets, friends. Like one whom we were in the same class in Form 1. They call him Emmanuel Ihenacho. Emmanuel Ihenacho became the Minister of Internal Ministry for Interior, Federal Minister for Interior.
Your classmate?
Yes.
Did he still recognize you?
Oh, yes. We met when the son of our daughter of Ahmadu Ali was wedding one time in Abuja here. We met.
Wow.
We met. We still recognize each other because we didn't lose contact.
So at what point did you get to university and what did you study before you become a lawyer?
Yes, when I went to the Federal School of Science, I was to become a doctor. During the second year, Hungarian government gave scholarship to 2 Nigerians.
Wow. And
the scholarship was given to Kano State and Kwara State. And it was given to one of my classmates called Musa from Kano and myself from Kwara. So Kwara State said they had no money they were not awarding scholarship that year. But the principal, late one Mr. Arwe Folami, wrote a personal official letter and gave me to give to Kwara State government that it was important that they give that scholarship because it got the Hungarian government will take care of the scholarship, but only transportation that the state government is to provide. I took the letter down to Kwara. They said, since they said they were not awarding scholarship that year, transportation is part of scholarship, and there was nothing they could do.
Oh, no.
I was stranded. I had no money to go back to Lagos. One of my cousins called Paul ELUKPO is now late. He was working at Lafiagi administrator's office. I went there with the hope maybe I'll get money to come and travel back to Lagos. I was stranded in Lafiagi. I couldn't come back to Ilorin. Until one Inua, the sole administrator there, I became a member of NRC. South is opposite National University's Open University in Lokoja.
Okay.
He was coming to Ilorin, PWD motor, so he gave me free leave to Lokoja, to Ilorin. And I think I was able to raise about 2 or 3 pence and join trailer from Maraba to Lagos. Took us about 2 or 3 days to Lagos. Before I got to Lagos, the man from Canada had already left. The final exam has reached halfway. Then I said, well, there is nothing I can do again. You can't repeat or something like that. Then I started looking for admission. And University of Lagos admitted me to come and read business administration.
Oh my God. A science student
reading business administration. Because I was determined there was nothing I can go into read, provided I know it can be something that will be useful to society. The business administration is very challenging. See, you read lots of courses and so on and so forth. So I settled down to business administration, University of Lagos. I finished my BSc Business Administration and also MSc Business Administration. When you are finishing your BSc Business Administration from University of Lagos at that time, from 300 level to 400 level, companies like Leventis, Kingsway, Brian Munro, UTC, they will come to recruit you from University of Lagos.
On merit.
On merit.
No.
In fact, anyone who finished business admin, the administration there, because the issue of you don't know it doesn't arrive. Practical knowledge was there that time. They recruit you, either as supervisor and so on for their businesses. But when they approached me, I said, no, with what I have read, I don't think I'll go and work for anybody. I should utilize it myself. Practicalize business administration with what I read, management. So I refused to ask work from that moment. I refused to work for anybody. And did some jobs like insurance and so on and so forth. I became insurance agent. I sold insurance, became insurance manager. People were hunting for me because I was selling a lot. Midland and Mansfield Insurance Company, Harmony Insurance Company. When I left School of Science immediately, before going to entering the University of Lagos, one later, Ladisho Musa from Bida was the secretary to federal government. No, he was with customs. Before he became secretary during Shagari to federal government, he was the administrative secretary for Board of Customs. And I said, well, I've just left School of Science. I could not go further. I'm going to look for admission. I was looking for a job, be it a laborer job or messenger. Then he gave me a note to customs at Harvey Road in Yaba. I was doing a laborer, any general duty job there until I joined insurance and got the admission to University of Lagos.
Okay.
Then from University of Lagos, around 1978-79, Kwara State government built some houses for owner-occupier basis. By then, I was having a pickup, running transport from K2 to town, and 1 6-wheeler for running transport to Kano. So Kwara State government wanted to sell their owner-occupier houses, and the price was 35,000 naira. You have to deposit 3,500 naira, then you pay the balance in 10 years.
Wow. I
sold the 6-wheelers, 3,000 naira, and looked for 500 naira to add. Then I went and bought the house. I was the first to buy a house in the Adeole Estate, apart from Civil Aviation, who bought 10 for their staff. Nigeria Civil Aviation.
You bought the car brand new?
Yeah, I bought the car brand new from UTC. The 404 pickup was from UTC, 3,100 from company. They even serviced it for me for 3 or 6 months, free. Then the Ford Transit was from RT Briscoe in Apapa, brand new, 6-wheelers.
If I may ask you, sir.
Yes.
At what point did Nigeria goofed that all of this you enjoyed, we no longer see it?
Yes.
Is it the leadership, or is it that elders were not ready to give direction to the youths?
No, it's the nature of the society. Corruption is the one that killed everything. It's corruption, greed for richness. You see, when Murtala Muhammad came to power, I was in Lagos. I know Murtala where I was insuring his car at Apapa. He was in charge of signals. You see, when he came to power, all these gotten assets were seized by him for the state. And people started working for what you earn, not enriching yourself unduly.
So it means the lack of law, the consequences of your offense that was seized. That is why we have all of this.
That's why we have all of this. People became a bit prudent. But when I think another government came. Was it
After him was Shagari. Is it I think Obasanjo, Shagari, and
now when Murtala died, Obasanjo took over.
Yes.
Things people started digressing back again, stealing money. You see, by building houses, buying cars that their salaries cannot afford. And I feel until such system come back to this country again, we will not get it right.
Do you think such can come?
It can be done. When you have a property, you should be able to explain how you got your money for it. You should explain to the last kobo. Then knowing your salary, if you have a property that's above your salary, you have to explain. Or it should be seized to the state for the state. It should become a state property. Not until we have leadership in this country that can implement such things.
Yes.
Or they jointly agree that everybody, you must stay within your income. If you want to be a civil servant, you know what the salary is. You keep yourself to that level. If you want to be in business, you be in business. The contract is 1 million, you go and organize to make it 5 million. It's left to you. You should go face the consequences.
That's correct.
For example, I did contract for government last in 1986-87.
Wow.
In Benue. You see, the issue is that when Federal Housing Authority wanted to construct some buildings, I was given some along Mukast Road. You see, but the issue is corruption. The supervisors will be asking you to collect any money to share it. I say I will not do that. If I finish the work, whatever I have, I can dash you, I dash you. Not that I have not finished the work, we share the money, then to have a low quality, low standard work. For example,
yes,
contract in Oguma to build, I think, quarters for hospital for doctors. The work was one time suspended. When they resumed work, a director in the office said before I start the work, when we were asked to resume, I must give him certain amount. I said, why? I should finish before you demand. He said, no. The director will say one this, Pam said one this, commissioner one the other one. I said, okay, I don't have the money. As he was insisting, I had to collect some money from Commissioner of Police in Makodi. I gave him back the money. And I said, that was the contract last. I never asked anybody for contract to say they were not giving me. Even in Koji, where I'm close to all the governors, I never asked for contract. When they give me, I will not do. I was close to all the governors, as I told you. Abaka Audu, I refused to appoint me. Hebrew, we did school together. I said no appointment.
Yes, I want to come to that. You said you were in the same class with Ibro?
Yeah, we're classmates.
And Natasha?
Natasha, yes, and my son.
Reading law?
Yeah, reading law.
Oh, this is how you become a lawyer?
Yes. I was already a successful person before going to read law.
Wow.
My daughter was a lawyer practicing. I said I was classmate with my son.
So what gave you that passion to go and read law?
Yes, the issue is that people are always looking for my trouble.
Oh, okay.
And when you hire a lawyer, at times, you see, at times the person may go and negotiate with the lawyer against you.
Against the lawyer you hired.
Compromise with them.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Take, for example, when we were in Benue, I had a school, Benue Continuing Education Center. One director was, unduly disturbing me for money for every month. So we should give him money because I got approval from Minister of Education. When I said I can no longer continue, we went and wrote that I was operating an illegal school. And they gave me the approval. I have my letter that I should close it down. So we went to court. I took them to court. One Bernard Ham was the Attorney General then. Fortunately, he saw the merit in the matter and said they should go and sit down and they should withdraw the case. So people are always causing problems here and there. And I feel I should be able to help society, the poor, those that cannot afford legal fees. Some people have been maltreated or mishandled or cheated because of lack of legal knowledge.
You took Federal University Lokoja to court.
Yes.
You took Federal Medical Center to court.
Yes.
You took NIWA to court.
Yes.
Why did you do all of that?
Now, out of the Federal, let's start from Federal University, which is the latest.
Yes.
I took the Federal Minister of Education to court to give me all the list of federal universities in Nigeria, their vice chancellors, and their states of origin. And in all the federal universities in Nigeria, except Kogi State, they are indigenous that are vice chancellors. And the vice chancellor in federal university was the majority of workers were from her state in Plateau, in our own state, Kogi. And go and see development in other federal universities compared to our own in Kogi State. So I challenged it with the support of some faithful Kogi elders, forum members based in Abuja here, and some from Lokoja, who went to the chairman of the board to tell him the consequences, and I was in court, and they should never appoint a new person because they were about to appoint another vice chancellor. I must be Kogi indigenous. Fortunately, we went around the matter here and there, and eventually they settled down for Kogi indigenous.
Wow.
Now Professor Akinwumi is now the vice chancellor of the university.
Wow.
Based on that, I was contacted to resolve the matter amicably. And I said, yes, I'm an arbitrator. So with the resolve, I had a meeting with the members of the board, and I withdrew the case from the court.
Because they've already met.
He said they've met my
your
requirement.
demand, okay.
Then going to Federal Medical Center. My wife was a senior nurse there on level 13. There was a time they made a meeting that when patients paid their money, she should charge extra. Prior to that, petitions have been coming to Kogi Elders Forum for the maladministration and maltreatment of our indigenes in Federal Medical Center Lokoja, which is still on up to today. When they held a meeting that my wife should be charging extra, I told her not to do it. When people pay their normal fees, we don't charge them extra. Then at a place of work, when a neighbor man called Dr. Nzurumike was trying to force her to charge extra, she says her husband says she should not do it. Then she says the man told her that you think your husband is a lawyer, I'll show you I'm an Igbo man. The following week, she came with 2 women from Igbo women. After they left, she said she has collected 400 naira from those people, from the Igbo people. Why are the Igbo people to testify? What is the mark of the denomination of the 400 naira? They cannot say it because it was something planned by the management.
Yeah.
The idea of even collecting extra emanated from the management. So they took the matter to management, and management wrote that she was dismissed.
From service?
Level 13 officer, whom the minister himself cannot dismiss, Minister for Education, for Health cannot dismiss, except Federal Civil Service Commission. So we went to court for 8 years and we won the case 100%, including allowances, leave, everything. They say she must be paid and she must be reinstated back. Even promotion that she was due while she was away, she must be given. That was the judgment of the court. So they were trying to dangle around it. I said, there's no way out. Then January, they said they wrote to her that they want to comply with the judgment of the court, and she should come and resume. She resumed and gave 3 months retirement notice that she was due for retirement, and they acknowledged it, and she retired. Although they have still not paid the money,
Yeah, definitely.
Courts are on leave, when calls resume now, we take appropriate action.
Okay.
To make them realize why they should pay it. It's their game there. It's their habit there of frustrating the people there, especially the indigenous in Federal Medical Center. I have my records for what I'm saying.
Wow.
Now, complaints kept coming about that place up to now, as I said. When COVID-19 came, and all these things we do, we copied the state government to take action that Federal Medical Center is not serving the interest of the people of Kogi State. If possible, let them give us the hospital back to the state to manage, rather than manage the way they are doing it. Now, when the former man who was when it became the Federal Medical Center, one Dr. Natia, Professor Natia, was the one who managed the place. He was the first medical director. When he retired, one Dr. Gbadebo Eleshi took over. He's from West, Central West. When the tenure got due, we have Kogi indigenes from number 1 to 12 in the hierarchy of seniority, with one Dr. Ako as the most senior person to be the medical director. They refused him and brought somebody from Kwara State. While we have this one man from Kwara was number 13 in hierarchy of seniority. They left number 1 to 12 and took number 13. Well, I could not stomach, I had to take the federal government to court on the matter. To give me the list of medical directors in Nigeria, their medical directors and their state of origin. They were all from their states except Kogi State. And it's Kogi, because it's Kogi that can stomach such things. Kogi State is in like a no man's land. Today, as I'm telling you, non-tribes are the majority of workers in Federal Medical Center in our own state. Non-Kogi indigenes are the majority of workers in that place.
Where is the place of federal character?
Well, the federal character to me, I've compromised with them. I have led the exchange series of several letters with them. They are compromised. Just like the Federal Medical Center, they go everywhere to buy their ways out.
Wow.
That's what I knew happened to federal character.
The same thing with Niwa.
Niwa. Well, Niwa, my gross with Niwa is that since it was created, no Kogi indigene has managed it. No Kogi indigene has been chairman of the board. Some boards were set up without any Kogi indigene there. They tell us they are doing dredging, they are spending billions, this and that. We don't see the effect on our waterways.
And Kogi is the confluence state
of confluence state of Nigeria. That is the headquarters of the place. When you meet them, they say because it's federal, they have the right. But you have the right, it's on our soil. And it doesn't happen in other places except Kogi State.
So, did they comply?
Well, we are still on that until the court resumes.
Okay.
Although they supply me some documents on their operations, which I'm not satisfied. They have to be seen practically.
Okay.
You see, Lokoja, with Sokoji, because confluence state, it should have been a riverine, operations. There should have been riverine operations, commercial activities along the waterways, which we don't have. People weekends can go on picnics, take a boat to Ida, Agenebode, Barrow, and so on and so on for sightseeing. But we don't see the effect.
And yet, year in, year out, there's budget for all of this.
In fact, cash flow, heavy. They need to account for the activities. That's why I'm going with them.
Okay, in all your experience, compared to what is happening now, because this interview, whether we like it or not, is going to be part 1, part 2, and even part 3.
I see.
What would you say has gone wrong with today Nigeria and the Nigeria you witnessed in the 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s?
It's no more than corruption. corruption and dishonesty. I think any government that assists Nigeria should have a policy on how to curb or reduce corruption to the barest minimum. Anybody trying to vie for public office, he should tell people how he got his money, what he intends to spend, and how he got such money. Not that you go and share billions to some people for you to become what you be in government, in politics, or at helm of affairs in politics. It means when you get there, you are going to recoup that money. It means you stole that money from our resources that are trying to come and use to bribe us, to come and overload it on us again. These are what I think the public should be enlightened to beware of money bags.
Okay.
This election coming.
You are aspiring to be the governor of Kogi State.
Yes.
First of all, why do you want to be the governor of Kogi State?
Yes, although I credit all the previous governors for what they have done, and that's the way they feel they could do it.
Yes.
That's what they could do. But I feel it's not enough. And I can deliver to the people what Kogi should be. Take, for example, Kogi, that we have human resources, some responsible elders that have retired from service today. I'm not talking of their pension or this thing. They could be put in gainful employment. Let there be industries in all the villages where you come from. An industry should be set up there. Something productive venture should be established in each of the villages. People that come, important people that come from that area should be assisted to establish productive ventures, to reduce unemployment. In fact, that is the system I feel armed robbery, corruption, Boko Haram could be wiped off in Kogi State. Not even by patrol or checking them alone. Give them gainfully employed position. The judiciary will have their money fully from the federal government. The local government will have their money fully to them direct without passing through the state government. But we will see that they will utilize the money properly. If not, I'll blow whistle on them. We get responsible people at the helm of affairs, as the leaders of the local governments, chairman of local government, they are very responsible people. The youth that want to aspire, I want the youth to come to helm of affairs, but I want them to acquire experience from those in front.
But today, experience no longer counts.
Well, but that's where we are. That's why we are where we are today, because of lack of experience, but lost for money. If you have an experienced person at the local government headquarters as the chairman, and the allocation is coming to him fully, he must have 1 or 2, 3 bulldozers that will be clearing bushes. All these youths plant cashew, plant things that they could harvest. Every year, let each person, each youth, be having like 2 million harvests from cashew from his farm. And let him place himself on salary of 100,000 naira every month.
Now, of course, you know that today's politics, whether we like it or not, even if you say you're not giving shishi, you need money for operations, logistics, and all of that. Do you have, without, do you have the money to handle all of this? Because Kogi State, a state with over 29,000 square kilometers, 21 local government. It's not an easy place to just move around in a day or 2 days. Even if you are using your car, tear and wear, you must buy fuel and all of that. Do you have that capacity?
Well, I know politics today is capital intensive.
Yes.
I don't have such money, but my friends and people that know me, they are ready to organize a launching, to finance the election. So what I'm doing meanwhile is mainly from my own pocket. From my own pocket meanwhile. Because when it comes to delegate, I think they hardly compromise with what they collect or something like that. maybe the friends that will be able to donate will be able to, finance such things, because they know my what and what I can do and what I cannot do. They've thought that if I'm a governor in Kogi State, other states are coming to learn in that place. It will be like China. Other places, other states will come to emulate us.
Why do
We
you
will be producing for export.
Mm.
That will be our major priority from the beginning. We'll be producing for export. See, like Igalala is the most fertile land in Nigeria.
That's correct.
I traveled through there last week when I went to greet some elders or chiefs. See the palm trees. That will be making oil, processing it for other things and also for export.
And
See, it's fertile for anything you want to plant.
On what political party do you want to contest?
Well, on PDP.
Why did you choose PDP when we have about 16 other political parties?
The issue is that right from its creation, from inception.
Yes.
Right from the inception of PDP.
Yes.
I have been a member.
Oh, okay.
I didn't just join it newly. I have my card, old card there. But we survey, we look at the merit of things.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong that it can't be guaranteed that I may not switch to another party subsequently. Okay. If I see their programs and so on and I don't agree with them, I will take with my committee members, I will take a decision on what to do.
What is the place of the Elders Forum that you are the chairman of Kogi State Elders Forum? What is their place?
It's their place, their position, the Kogi Elders Forum has got some objectives to see that things are being properly done and to the advantage of Kogi State.
Are they properly done?
Well, they are not. That's why you find me in court with many of them. That's why you find me challenging them to actualize the objective of Kogi Elders Forum. That's why I'm challenging those improprieties.
What is the role of Kogi Elder Forum vis-a-vis Ajaokuta rolling mill? Ajaokuta located in Kogi State.
Yes.
Ajaokuta in 1985-86, the place while construction was ongoing, it employed over 25,000.
Yes.
By now, if it was fully operational, only God knows the number, both direct and indirect employment.
Yes.
But today is a shadow of itself. What is the role of Kogi Elders Forum concerning Ajaokuta?
Yes. When Kogi State was created in 1995, I formed the Ajaokuta State Forum with the aim of struggling to get Ajaokuta completed. We pressurize our state government all the time to pressurize federal government to complete it. We went to the federal government when we have some ministers, or when Abubakar Absalam was the head of state. In fact, in his handing over note to Obasanjo, he mentioned Kogi Elders Forum. It was in the federal government handing over note of our struggle to complete Ajaokuta Steel. When late Bolaige was the Minister for Power and Steel, I led delegation to him on the completion of Ajaokuta Steel. That time, together with Saudi Salami, Gabriel Aduku, and all the rest of them, to complete Ajaokuta Steel. Then, we tried to align with Northern Elders Forum that they should assist us as our big brothers to make sure Ajaokuta, since it's part of the North, is completed. That time, our late brother, late Raman Okene, was the chairman Northern Elders Forum. It was of great assistance to us, even that the Northerners far not disappointed him and disappointed us. There was a time they told us that since we have come to Kogi State to discuss the affair of Ajaokuta Steel in our state, we have to pay them transport allowance from Kaduna to venue of the meeting.
Hey.
Gabriel Aduku, Chief Gabriel Aduku is alive today. He witnessed it. Abraman Okele nearly wept. He told us to go and tell our people in Okoji to be our brother's keeper, to see what we are witnessing in the hands of our brothers. Then, along the line, when we continue with the meeting, we had a meeting where most of our leaders from outside were gathered in the former House of Assembly in our Okoji local government, Lokoja local government. And they resolved that this Ajaokuta State Forum we formed, they have seen that we can do a lot of things apart from Ajaokuta State. And we should be an appendage of North Elder Forum, and we refused. Now we can be on our own in Kogi State. That's when we changed the name to Kogi Elders Forum from Ajaokuta State Forum. Because our objective is mainly on Ajaokuta, even up to today. It's how to get Ajaokuta completed. That is our objective of the project.
Well, time is not always on our side for a beautiful story like this. But quickly, when are you going to officially declare to the world of your intention to govern Kogi State?
Well, you know that the election of Kogi State is going to come after this election, like November.
Yes, about 6-7 months after.
Yeah, so there is still time. Although my office is there, my office is around the flyover of Ganaja Road, at Destiny Plaza.
Yeah.
That's my office for the election. Because I did try to distance the political office from my legal practice office in the house. So the declaration is going to be announced. And the whole world will know. And given the opportunity to rule Kogi State, it will never be the same again. They will see what it is. Uniform development, just the way we are. No one will regret it.
You are part of those who created Kogi State.
Yes.
What was the vision and mission for the creation of Kogi State? And at what point everything went haywire?
Yes, the vision was that Kogi State was former Kaba province. And the people were so united. The Igala, the Igbira, the Honda Kaba province in the northern region, and even to Kwara State. They felt that such united people, if they have a state of their own, it will be the best in the country. So later, Taof Igala Ali Obaje championed that there should be fundraising to create Kogi State. Many people that time, Babangida was the head of state. Many people that have, contact, they played their own roles. General Salu MC Ali, that time General Salu was chief of staff. So the people agreed, and they were able to buy the central and west into the arrangement by Kogi East. I'll say Kogi East was the champion of the creation of Kogi State. So the launching was organized in Makurdi, Benue State, one Saturday, 1982-83. That time, Dr. Yaya Tanu was the federal minister. They were all gathered in Makurdi. W.T. Bako from Lokoja led the delegation to Makurdi then, led W.T. Bako of blessed memory. Incidentally, that day, I was the chairman of the occasion and the chief launcher for the first raising for the creation of Kogi State. That was why, after the creation, we felt we need serious people that have the interests of the state and the people at heart to govern the state. Although the people have been doing their best, but it wasn't the vision
and the mission
we had for its creation. And I feel I still have the knowledge, everything of the mission and vision of Kogi State. That's why I want to be there, to make us actualize these missions and visions.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you, sir.